They say you can't pick your family and you can't pick your neighbors either for the most part, but you can pick your neighborhood, and that goes a long way in determining your sense of community and your pride of place in a new home. These are 2 of 9 Rutledge homes in Monash Park. It's a new development in North Nanaimo named after Monash Park that sits at the corner of Kenning and Monash. When the builders were building this home, the neighbors came by and gave them banana bread and lemonade, and the woman who lived in the house before this one let anybody who wanted to pick holly from that tree. There's a real mix of old and young that call this area home. It's a quiet and polite neighborhood. This is Jim Routledge. He's a pretty interesting guy. He came to Nanaimo by float plane a couple of decades ago and has been calling the island home since 1982. He's a developer, and that kind of happened by accident. So Jim, I wonder, how did you end up doing what you're doing now?
Well, I got to the island on a float plane, as you said, and it was quite fun. We planted satellite dishes around the northern part and did a bit of exploring that way. I got to the building business through marketing consulting, helping people sell things. And a customer of mine was in the flooring business. A flooring contract led to a flooring career, bidding on hospitals and schools and rec centers and all that sort of thing. I got to work with a lot of builders, a lot of developers. I learned the recipe, if you will, for how to put together properties and houses, and that's what kind of gave me the bug to give it a try myself.
A lot of learning as you go and tweaking the recipe. Is there such a thing as perfection? And what are the main ingredients in the recipe for a good home?
Good question. It is like oatmeal raisin cookies in a way. There is a basic set of ingredients and a process. However, I do find that with every batch, every home that I make, there are things that literally weren't available with the last home that I built or the last batch I made. So we're doing things as the market evolves, as the industry evolves, that are innovative. Yet we stick with a basic fundamental foundation and a good solid energy efficiency program that we like to use.
Balance is a big part. We don't want to say function over form, because it's how you balance those 2 very important ingredients.
Indeed, my preference or my style is certainly to put function over form. However, I respect those that have the left brain and the colors and form and different design features, and I use those people. I have a wonderful designer that picks the colors and puts things together, which I am so thankful for, because I tend to focus more on the function.
Now, while you're working with what technology is available in the moment, you're also thinking ahead to the future, and resale is a big part of every home that you build. Indeed,
yes. A lot of the things that we're doing are innovative, but we do like to stick with some of the tried and true techniques for things like flooring, for instance. My history in flooring has led me to believe that, good old-fashioned hardwood, laid and sanded and finished in place, is what will give you the longest lasting, highest performing floor and represents value in the long run. All
that experience in the industry gave Jim a real insider's perspective on some of the things that are maybe more important than others. When we came here a couple of weeks ago, Jim, you mentioned siding, and you could have gone maybe a little fancier here.
There are options with siding. You can use cedar siding, you can use concrete board siding, and I chose to use vinyl siding. And that saved me about $5,000, which I chose to put into the flooring. Good old-fashioned real oak flooring, laid, sand, and finished, is a much more durable thing that you walk on every day and you use. Siding, with the new dark colors they have in the vinyl, I think are very attractive, very functional as it is.
We're going to have a look at that flooring close up in just a minute, but I don't think Jim's saying that curb appeal isn't important. You still want the house to look good.
Absolutely, and I think a little bit of extra work there makes a big difference too, as we've done across the front here with what we call the dental work. And that adds about a half a day's work for a crew of 6 people, but it does give, I think, some texture and some life and some interest to the front of the house.
Okay, I think he mentioned earlier that when people pull up to your home, you kind of want them to think it's a cool place to be. A close look at this flooring that we've been hearing so much about inside this brand new Rutledge home. This is the type of flooring that you'll find in $1 million home.
Yes, some of the finest homes up and down the island, $1 million, $2 million homes, have been done by Nova Hardwoods. I've known these people. They've done every home I've ever lived in. They're wonderful. As
a developer working in the industry for the past 7 years, you've had the opportunity to form a lot of relationships. And I'm drawing a parallel now between The heart of a home is the relationships and the connections that happen inside the life, and that's happened in this home long before the people who own it move in.
Absolutely. I define success by my connections, and I've really met the best bunch of guys over the years in the business. From the hardwood floors to the cabinets to the tile, cornerstone tile are the best bunch of guys.
What makes them so good?
They have the skill. They can deal with every challenge faced and make the easy things look even better. If you look for flaws, if you look for anything, it isn't there. It's what isn't here that makes it so good, and that's what you see is the art, the choice of colors, the design that the designer came and picked out. It comes through. You're not looking, your eye isn't drawn to things that don't seem right. You're drawn to what the illusion is that the designer intended.
And behind you is a really unique feature.
This has been one of the most fun things that I've been involved with. This is a home that is going to go to a special person that has a history of accomplished gardening, and she specializes in geraniums. This is a rendition of a geranium done by Cheeky Monkey Glassworks in Nanaimo. Brenda is just a wonderful person. She's a star, and I am so impressed with the work that she did, putting this special touch for the people that are going to live in this house.
If you were to summarize the type of people that you choose to work with, it's quality. All the way, I'm getting that sense.
It is performance, it is quality. I've been very fortunate to have been exposed to the range. I've seen the different ways people can work, from the best to perhaps not the best. And I've had an opportunity to try things and see what works for me, and I've found a wonderful combination of people and connections. That really is the strength, I think, of what I offer.
Excellent. We all know that good business is built on good relationships. Jim Routledge prides himself on keeping up with and incorporating all of the latest technologies into each of the homes that he builds, and certainly this home in Monash Park is no exception. The garage, surprisingly, can be the hub of where that technology is centered. For example, I think there's an extra panel on this wall.
We have introduced a media panel in our homes. This is something that TELUS has given us as part of a package where we give people a free internet for a year and TV for a year. But this media panel allows all the rooms in the homes to be connected with both the television wire and the telephone wire, so you can have all sorts of modern switching systems for both TV, internet, and telephone.
Okay, and then all networked from room to room within the home.
Correct.
Wow, sounds pretty cool. This is a regular power box.
Regular.
We've all seen the breakers before, right? This we don't have in every garage.
Electric vehicle charging connection for that car of the future.
Do you think that that's coming? Is there a demand from the people that you work with that they want this in their garage?
Oh, I'm convinced. I believe we're well along the learning curve or the production curve of that. It's not a question of if it's coming, it's just a question of when. As a matter of fact, I would like to see all home builders put in the wire for these connections. Even if they don't put the plug, have the wire in the wall so that every home down the road would be able to put in one without a lot of fuss and muss.
Okay, so high technology in the garage. There's another area in the home that you might not think of as high tech. What area is that?
We're taking you down, Kate. We're getting into the crawl space.
Here we go. From a high-tech media center in the garage to high-tech heating systems here in the crawl space. What is this, Jim?
What we're looking at here is an on-demand hot water heater. This provides the hot water to the showers and to the front sink, the taps, all of the hot water that you'd use in a home.
Okay, now how does it work? I don't know a lot about furnaces and hot water tanks, but this doesn't look anything like those big round tanks that I'm used to seeing.
Okay, this is not a storage device. This takes the cold water coming in, gets it hot, really quickly and then sends it off to wherever it's going to be needed. The unique thing that we're doing here in this house is that we're taking the hot water out of here and not just sending it to the showers, but we're putting it through another loop over into a blower behind you, which then sends the heat through the house as the forced air, the warm air. So the unique thing about this is that it's providing hot water and heat. And there's only one exhaust pipe instead of 2 or 3 in some homes.
Okay, so it's a good example of technology working towards energy efficiency, which then results in low cost.
Absolutely, 97% efficiency.
Excellent, pretty hard to beat that. From high-efficiency heating systems to a high-tech media center, a Rutledge home is a balance through expertise and experience of old-world craftsmanship and the latest in home innovation. The character of any home is based on the relationships and the life that happens within it. In a Rutledge home, that relationship is started and those relationships are built before the first nail even goes in. For more information on Monash Park and other Rutledge home projects, you can visit the website www.rutledgehomes.com.